Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is MCMZ Crypto and I will be your host for this video today. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin's 200 SMA, and we're going to be talking about two great altcoins. So those altcoins are going to be TRON and THETA. I will tell you the reasons why, and also make sure that you remain till the end of this video because I'll be showing you my trade plan for those two altcoins. So as you can see guys, my Bitcoin sign behind me is changing color today and I'm still wearing my hodler jumper. So the reason the sign is changing the colors is because it's not bearish anymore, so it can't be red. It's not bullish just yet, so it can't be green. So it's changing colors at the moment. If we go in a bull phase, it's gonna be green. If we go in a bear phase, it's gonna be red. So without further ado, let's jump in some news articles. So on the CoinDesk here right now, we can see the first article. It says Bitcoin investors eye 200-day moving average, simple moving average after 3-day rally, analysts say. Let's quickly check what this is all about. Bullish signals for Bitcoin have emerged, favoring a continued price rally towards the widely tracked 200-day simple moving average SMA, according to technical analysis KT Stockton. So the 200 daily moving average, it can be a very important indicator, but sometimes it doesn't mean anything. So I don't really pay too much weight, don't place too much weight on the 200 daily moving average, not normally anyway, but for the purposes of this video, let's jump into the Bitcoin charts and let's check out. So let's check out quickly. So I've got 200 daily moving average on. So we've been obviously after this massive drop down, we've been kind of consolidating and we came to kiss the 200 daily moving average just one time, but in the same time simultaneously we actually got rejected by this upsloping line of resistance, and it just coincided that the 200 SMA was there as well. So what this analyst is saying is that we're gonna probably have a bull run up to this 200 SMA, and it would probably make a lot of sense actually, since we got a 200, well, since we got this VPVR resistance here. So if we put on a box and also put it on the previous higher high, we can see that it would coincide with the same area of the VPVR resistance of the 200 coming down, and this double top actually potentially being created. So if we get rejected by this area, which is very high potential, we might actually drop back down here, and if we don't complete the pattern going up there, there's a higher risk that we're gonna fall through this first line of resistance and further down here onto those price levels. But this has not happened yet, and this is just somewhere looming in the distance. Before it actually happens, you know, and if it even happens, we have to remain bullish. Yeah, so guys, you can see that we are actually bullish at the moment. So if we go by the theory of long the support and short the resistance, then we have to remain bullish right now, as the most recent resistance that we met was on this upsloping line of resistance of this channel here, and we can see on a daily time frame that we had 1, 2, 3 strong green candles. So that is what the analysts are talking about, and normally after such a strong rally we should expect some continuation like we saw here. If we fail and we kind of roll around anywhere in between, you know, then probably there is more downside to come, because in general I don't think markets are in a very healthy condition currently longer term, sort of you know, 4 to 8 weeks or maybe 3 to 6 months. I believe there is more downside to come, but in between there will be bullish rallies. So I think we got a small chance of actually breaking through these highs here and actually going higher, and if it happens we're gonna re-evaluate and analyze as and when it happens. Right now there's no point keep guessing. Right guys, so let's jump to CoinMarketCap and let's see what is happening across the board. So we can see that everything is green. Finally, things are doing really well. We can see Terra Luna 19% up on the week. We can see Avalanche 2.5% up on the week. Polkadot 8.75% 50% up on the week, and lots of other altcoins. Today I was thinking to myself, you know, I want to find a good altcoin trade. And when usually I trade altcoins, what I do, I go to CoinMarketCap and I simply see for the best performers of the day. And I don't really care the reason why they are pumping. Actually, to be fair, I was trying to look for the reasons today on Google, but I couldn't find anything. So for example, an altcoin TRON, it's within top 50 altcoins in the market cap. We can see that it rallied up 15% today, and it's 20% up on the day. It's one of the coins we're going to be talking about today. Also, I found another coin called THETA. It's number 40 on the coin market cap, and it has rallied for 10% today, and we can see that price considerably is very small. It's only $3. So to get into a short-term trend trades, I think it's very good this way, because obviously if it pumped 10-15% today, there's a good reason it happened. And you know, as we looked earlier on the Bitcoin chart, and we saw that we probably still have a whole week of bullish price action ahead of us. So there's a good reason to look for long trades. And as we know, if Bitcoin is pumping, the altcoins will be pumping even stronger. So it's always a good idea to look for some short-term swing trades on altcoins. So I picked those two altcoins to analyze and actually do the trade plan on. So without further ado, let's jump into charts and let's discover. So guys, before we go ahead with the charts, make sure that you like, subscribe and comment underneath, so that the YouTube helps my videos to be pushed out to the wider audience, and also that helps you. The YouTube algorithm will be looking for the similar content to offer it to you. But now, without further ado, let's jump right into the charts. So we are on TRON charts right now. Let's flip onto the weekly and let's see where we are. On the weekly chart, we can see that we've been respecting this upsloping line of support, and recently we had a huge drop. Well, the most recent one was about 59-60%, which is absolutely huge. And nothing, well, rarely things go in the stock market or crypto market, they rarely go down to zero. But if you consider this has been something like 50-60% drop, but if we go to the highs of April 2021, we are actually down by 71%. So there has to come a time where we start reversing and start looking up in the other direction, right? And at the moment, we are actually at the support. Longing support is long-term proven to be the best strategy to gain for gains, for profits, because people are trying to short support and they think it's going to break through and go lower, and they try to long resistance, but that is not a winning strategy. A winning strategy is long the support, short resistance. So if you go by that motto, and especially on long-term charts like weekly or daily, I think you might be in for good profits. So right now we are actually on a support, we are bouncing off, we got the RSI, we can see the RSI is actually so having an incline. We can see it here, the price has inclined a little bit, but the RSI has got a little bit sharper angle, which oftentimes indicates of, you know, the strength in the price. Well, the RSI is relative strength index, so if it's stronger than the prices, that means there's more strength in the price that we can't see, and oftentimes results in a big price runs. So first of all, what I wanted to talk about here is basically this Fibonacci. So what I'm thinking is that this is a weekly chart. If we go back to daily, actually we're going to remove this 200 weekly moving average because we're not interested in that right now. But we can see that on a daily chart today, the TRON has had a massive rally up of about 15-16, well, currently about 13%. That's a big daily candle. So how do we get into a trade here? Well, let's drop down to 4 hourly, and we can see that in the past 4 hours, past 8 hours, we had a massive volume spike. Huge amounts of dollar value is gone into the TRON. So for us to be able to get into this trade, there are a few things we need to do. Let's drop down to the hourly. We can see on hourly that we are retracing back. The reason I've got this level here is because I know when the price gets into this level, so in between 0.06 and 0.07, I will be looking for the entries. And more precisely, I will be looking for the entries here because of this Fibonacci level. So these are actually Fib levels. So often price, when it has a bullish spike, it retraces back to one of the three Fib levels. So it's either 61.8, 50 or 38.2. So let's say it's gonna be 50 Fib. Okay, so it's gonna be somewhere here, but it could be any of them. It could be 60. You could start scaling into in the position at 60 Fib, 61.8, 50 or 38.2. So you could basically break your position down in three parts. So let's say we get into on 50 Fib, and we will play the first one probably up to this 61.8 of the longer term Fib. We're going to put the stop loss just below the 23.6, because if the price goes below 23.6, then it's not a bullish trade anymore, then there is more likely that the downside is going to come. So if we set the trade like this, we are still 3.31 times risk to reward, which is absolutely amazing. But really and truly, on larger time frames, I believe that the price is going to actually go much higher. So let me, so you see the VPVR support and this 50 moving average here. I mean, this 50 Fibonacci. I think if the price starts getting bullish here now, this will be the first point of resistance, and this will be the second because of this VPVR here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna actually go into the trade long to this 61.8 Fib and the second position at 50 Fib. So if we go back down to the hourly, we can see that we are now slowly approaching. It's very realistic, but it's a 32% gain. It's a huge profit that you can gain from these trades if you play it right. So on the larger time frames, on the daily, you can see that that's nothing. For the price to actually get there is really nothing, but it's best to be conservative rather than over optimistic and not get it. You're better off taking smaller profits but more often, rather than hoping for huge profits and not getting them at all and being stopped out and keep losing money. I mean, 32% is by no means a small profit. It's a huge profit, but it's very, very achievable. So really and truly, we can slowly start getting into this price. I think I'll break it down to 3 positions and I'll be scaling in slowly. One more thing. Let's go back to Tron, because there was one more thing that I wanted to talk about, and that is actually a MACD. So let's remove this. Let's remove the RSI and let's throw in MACD. So on a daily chart of MACD, we can see that we are actually having a bullish cross, and on a histogram we can see the first green bar appearing. It will only be confirmed when the price closes tonight at midnight, and then that's definitely, if it stays there, then it's going to be green on the histogram. But also here, these moving averages are actually converging to the upside. If we look on the weekly chart, I also found something very, very interesting. Look at the MACD, and it's a longer trend indicator. But as you can see, we've been going down, 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 down. I think now is a good time for to start building some longer term positions. And actually this is the case on a lot of altcoins, including Ethereum and Bitcoin, that these indicators are actually starting to turn to the upside, from coming from down below and starting to turn to upside. That's where the most gains are usually capitalized. It's when all the indicators are oversold, when they're going to their bottoms, when there is basically blood running on the streets. technically that's you know, historically the best time to buy. So on a weekly chart, although we might remain down there for still some time and maybe consolidate a little bit and kind of like live at the bottom, but we don't have to jump into those longer term positions with leverage. We can simply buy the underlying stock from places like Binance and KuCoin and actually hold it, and probably, or just do dollar cost averaging, adding over time, and when it starts running up, you'll be a very, very happy person. So that was one indicator I wanted to show. All right, now let's jump into the second altcoin, Theta. So we can see similar, absolutely almost the same situation in the weekly time frame. We can see that the MACD is actually starting to print finally these green bars, and let's see how long we had the red bars. So the red bars have been there for something like 44 weeks. That's almost a whole year we've been in this bear trend, and finally we are starting to print these green bars, and the moving averages are starting to turn on the indicator bullish now. So we can be expecting a bullish price action if we break this downsloping line of resistance, which is the triangle formation right here. So let's jump onto the daily time frame and let's see what is happening here. Again, we are at the bottom line. Again, long the support, short the resistance. Okay, I don't think I'll be shorting resistance this time round. It gets up to this downsloping line. If anything, I'll be actually waiting for it to break through, come back, retest it, and try to get onto this bandwagon up. So my first position, my first entry into the position would probably be somewhere right now. I would actually enter into the position something like this. It would probably be one-to-one profit. But it's pretty certain, it looks certainly right now that we will probably get this upper line. Then once we get there, and we come back and retest this line, I'll get into another position. I will put a stop loss just beneath here. So if the price drops back in, then obviously it's a fake out, I'm out of the trade. But risk to reward is absolutely amazing. It's 4.3 times the risk, your reward in this case. And the reason I picked this level, the $6.40 level for the targets, is because I found and identified this area to be a heavy resistance. There is a potential that if the market goes in a very bullish mode, it will actually break through and go much higher, and maybe even to all-time highs and price discovery. But we don't know that. We're gonna find out only, and if that happens. But in the meantime, we can make 51% of the move, and that would not be unreasonable at all. So I'll be keeping a close eye on these two altcoins. There are other altcoins that are already in a trade in, but that's from the yesterday's video. I will give you an update of those trades probably tomorrow or Saturday. So guys, we are coming close to the end of this video. Thank you very much for staying and watching the video all the way through. I always appreciate that. Thank you very much for liking, subscribing and commenting, and make sure to come back for more. Guys, you look after yourselves, you stay in a good health, you make sure you manage your risk, and I will see you at the next video. Peace.